All right. Um, Again, welcome to UCI. Congratulations. Today, I'm going to talk about UCI academic structure, how to prepare for the fall quarter, how to register for classes, and what is your academic requirement to get your degree. And also later, we will talk about policy procedures, and we will give you your personal study plan. And we will also introduce how to enroll for research and projects and internship career center. Okay, so this PowerPoint later on, Caesar, the other counselor, is going to email you. So you don't need to copy everything. What you can do is just write down the important dates. You know, there are deadlines or welcome week dates that you need to know, okay? Okay, this is a UCI map. UCI, we have inner ring road and outer ring road. You can see there are two big circles. In the center is Aldrich Park, where we have a lot of events going on. It's a nice area you can hang out. And all the departments and classrooms are around the circle. So if you have a class back to back, don't worry. You know, usually there's a 10 minutes intermission, and you can go to any classroom within 10 minutes. All right? And I know you work very hard. That's why you are admitted to UC Irvine. But after you come to UCI, you need to keep working very hard because the UCI program is very demanding and challenging. However, you can have a good student life. Okay, we do have a lot of things going on, the clubs and the games, and we have a very nice Anteater gym. Once you enroll, you are eligible to use it. Okay, we encourage you to exercise other than just study. And this is an important office. You already contact admission, financial aid, registrar office. Also, there's a Learning Academic Resources Center. This one mainly is a tutoring service, and they tutor like a lower division, math, physics, and engineering. Most of you may not need to use this service. However, we do encourage you to go to the office hour for any classes because your professor and TA, they are teaching this course. So they have the most knowledge to assist you. And there's a counseling center if you, in your personal life, if you feel you need some professional help. And we do have counseling center. The counselor's service is free and everything is confidential. Career Center, later on, we will introduce Career Center. That's where normally students get internship. And disability service, if student needs some accommodation, if they have a doctor's note, they can go to the website to register. If you are dependent of a veteran, you may entitle free tuition. Please contact the Veteran Service. So before fall quarter starts, and every student, once you enroll, you by default, you will be entitled to UCI health insurance. So monthly, you will be charged around 500 to 600 for the health insurance. Health insurance is very, very important for students. So make sure, we want to make sure you have this health insurance. However, if some students, they have good health insurance in US from work or from their parents, they can waive out. The deadline to waive out is September 1st. Paying tuition and fees. Remember this deadline. The deadline is September 17 before 4:30 p.m. If you have a financial aid, if you enroll 6 units, the financial aid will pay your tuition and fees. But if you do not have a financial aid, you can pay that bill online. Okay, this is the website you need to remember, zapaccount.uci.edu. Okay, make sure you pay tuition and fees before September 17th. You should already turn in your official transcript to admissions and records. The deadline was July 1st. If you have some condition or you haven't turned in your transcript, you need to contact admission office, not our office, okay? Yeah, and you can email them, go to my admissions application at uci.edu. Okay, we encourage you to participate new student convocation. And it's Monday. This date you need to remember, September 24th, 9:15 a.m. at the Brain Event Center. After the new student convocation, there's an Anteater involvement fair in the Aldrich Park. We also recommend you to go and get involved. Okay, what's your academic requirement to get your degree? For the new student, incoming transfer student, you follow 2018-2019 catalog for your academic requirement. Okay, you can also view the catalog online by going to catalog.uci.edu. There are 4 components to finish your degree. Okay, we talk about 3, and then after this slide, there's another requirement, which is a UC requirement. Okay, the first component is a UC Irvine requirement. Okay, so you need to have at least 180 units to graduate. Most transfer students, you transfer with 105 units, which is the maximum quarter units you can transfer. And then when you come to UCI, engineering require a lot of professional courses, so there's no problem to meet the criteria. However, there's another criteria, is a UC Irvine requirement. You need to have at least 2.0 overall GPA, 2.0 for engineering GPA, and 2.0 for upper division engineering GPA. Okay, what do we mean engineering GPA? Okay, for example, you are a mechanical engineering student. You take mechanical courses, and there, if it's a static, dynamic, those are lower division. MAE 30, 80, those are lower division course. And upper division engineering course means any number above 100. Okay, so most students, they have no problem to have an overall 2.0 GPA, but in the past, we do find some students, okay, they did not meet the upper division engineering GPA 2.0. Okay, so you really need to work very hard after you come into UCI. The other requirement is a general education requirement. Okay, we will talk about the general education requirement later, another slide. Okay, your major requirement. Okay. So what is the fourth requirement, which is the UC requirement? All UC campus, they require this requirement, which is you need to meet entry-level writing requirement. You all coming with 2 lower division writing, so you already satisfy entry-level writing. For American history institution, this one, because you are international student, it is possible you never take American history or American government course. If you are in that kind of situation, please talk to counselor when you return for 1 hour advising in the fall quarter, because you do need to take 1 American history and 1 American government. So this, the detail we will discuss with you later, okay? Okay, so for transfer student, some of you has IGETC, okay? This is related to general education. If you already completed IGETC, you are done with general education, except you still need 1 upper division writing course. And usually for engineering is engineering 190W, okay? If you are missing 1 or 2 courses to complete your IGETC, we allow you to get a partial IGETC, and then later, you know, you can finish this 1 or 2 courses either from community college or from UCI, okay? So we want the people who has IGETC or partial IGETC, please bring the certificate in the fall quarter when you meet your counselor, okay? So together we can figure out how exactly what course you need to complete your IGETC. Some of you may not have IGETC, don't worry, it's okay. But you do need to come back in the fall quarter and discuss with your counselor, and we can identify how many courses and what courses you need. And again, you can take those courses either at UCI or at community college. This is a screenshot of DegreeWorks. If you go to Student Access, you sign in, and you can find DegreeWorks. This is online, your degree information, okay? Right now, if you go to DegreeWorks, everything is kind of empty, okay? The reason is all your transferable courses is not loaded in the DegreeWorks, okay? That's why another important reason you need to come back to make a 1 hour appointment to see your counselor. At that time, all your courses are loaded to DegreeWorks, and we can apply those courses for you, all right? So I'm going to turn into Caesar.
Excuse me, I have a question. Excuse me? Yeah, you were just saying something about how we have to come in again for an hour to meet with the counselor?
Okay, so we'll be answering questions towards the end of the presentation.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, so these are the list of the majors that are available for the School of Engineering. So just make sure that if you are in one of these majors, you are able to minor in material science or biomedical engineering. So you have those options of minoring in something that's outside of your major. If your major is one of those optional minors, then you can't minor and major in the same thing. So just note that. If you're interested in switching into a different major, just know that computer science and engineering and mechanical engineering are off in terms of options. Everything else, we would just have to review your transcript to see if it's a viable option for you. Computer science and engineering is a major that is both under the School of Engineering and also under the School of ICS. So in addition to your regular program, we do encourage students to get involved in any of the activities that you see below. So most students will most likely participate in at least one of each. So research, course projects, internships, or be part of a student organization. So if you go to any one of those links, you can see an example of, let's say, some of the projects that would be under mechanical engineering. So the UCI ME projects, and also student organizations. You can have a full list of all the engineering specific organizations that are part of the School of Engineering. You are also welcome to join any of the research or student organizations that are outside of engineering, so that you have exposure to a different part of campus, and just in general a different set of people that you can learn from. In terms of the research areas available, a lot of these research centers are located across campus or around the campus, so it's very easy for you to become involved outside of UC Irvine. So you can definitely take advantage of these by just essentially visiting them on campus, off campus, or emailing them or calling them directly. If you are interested in research, anyone who is electrical or computer engineering must have a 3.0 GPA before they can apply for research. Everyone else essentially needs to have information on a professor or faculty member that you want to mentor under. And once you have an agreement with the professor, you do have to send a proposal for individual study. So once approved, you can authorize into their specific course, and usually you are eligible to receive units for whatever individual study you're doing with the professor. So that definitely helps out with, for most majors, participating in individual study will count towards your degree in some way. Like I said earlier, the career website was listed in a couple seconds ago. So if you're interested in any job search strategies, resume workshops, interview techniques, anything to do with a potential job, you should definitely direct your questions to career.uci.edu or their office. You definitely want to make sure that you have some interview techniques practice. You want to make sure that your resume is critiqued, that it's up to date. You don't want to have just a couple lines on your resume and make and hope that it's going to go well. You want to have as much information on there. And again, the Career Center website does have a lot of good information on how to buff up your resume, and then visiting them to get it critiqued also helps a lot. There are quite a few career fairs that are available throughout the year for UCI students. So you have 2 in the fall, 2 in the winter, and 1 in the spring. And fall and winter each have their own specific career fairs that are related to the STEM field. So if you aren't taking advantage of any of these, then you are going to be missing out on valuable information that a lot of these companies will share with you, especially if you're applying for your first internship and they're asking you to have an extra course here and there, or have some sort of experience. So definitely take advantage of the career fairs in the fall to kind of see how to change your resume, so that by the time winter comes around, you have a better understanding of what a lot of these companies are asking for. The Engineering Student Council hosts an Engineering Students Week. So it is a 4-day event that essentially promotes engineering student, faculty, and alumni interaction. So one of those days, for example, on Tuesday of this year, Dean cooked breakfast for all the students in Engineering Plaza. They hosted the engineering STEM-specific career fair on that Wednesday. So like I said, we do have various careers, and so the second one in the winter is hosted by the Engineering Student Council. Later on in the week, there's an awards banquet and sports picnic day. So this week is dedicated essentially to all students that are engineering, and it is even a very good way for you to interact with a lot of the companies, because they know that a lot of the students coming from the School of Engineering are pretty top notch, which is why they keep coming back each year to help out the students during the engineering week. So definitely take advantage of all of these opportunities for you to, expose yourself to a lot of these companies, and also faculty if you are interested in joining any of their research projects. And now we'll be reviewing the policies and procedures for the School of Engineering.
Okay, so I'm going to do a section of the orientation, then Caesar is going to go ahead and finish up the rest of the orientation. And once again, you will be receiving your plan of study later on today with your fall schedule. We're going to email that to you to your UCI email account. So make sure you don't check your personal account, but you check your UCI email account for your fall schedule. And then your hold will be released and you'll be able to enroll in your questions. And then if you have any questions regarding your fall schedule, you can email your individual counselor who set your schedule to you. So let's follow right along here. Catalog rights. All incoming transfer students are put under the 2018-2019 catalog. So that's the most current catalog. The departments looked at the catalogs and they determined that this is the most beneficial catalog year for you to be under. But if for some reason you want to switch to another catalog that you have rights to, you can talk to your counselor when you come in the fall. We have mentioned a few times about coming in the fall. What that means is today you're going to be emailed your fall schedule, but you're not going to be emailed your complete plan of study. When you come to school in the fall, you're going to come into our advising office and set up a 1-hour advising appointment. That's going to be a one-on-one appointment where you're going to meet with your counselor on an individual basis, and then at that time you're going to get your complete plan of study, and you can ask any questions regarding a specialization, a minor, perhaps doubling. So if you have questions like that, wait till your first appointment in the fall and we can answer all those questions for you. We will not release your grades, your class schedule, or your academic status to anybody unless we have written permission from you stating that it's okay. So in the engineering advising office, we have a form you can sign if you give us approval to release that information. I feel that this slide right here is the most important slide or information for incoming transfer students. I've been an advisor here at UCI for 10 years, and if I see one area where transfer students, their first quarter here sort of stumble, it's with the add drop policy. So perhaps at the community college or the college that you were attending, you were able to drop courses all the way up maybe till finals week. That's not the case at UCI. At UCI, we have very strict policies when it comes to adding and dropping a course. You're only able to drop a course up through the second week of the quarter, 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. Friday of the second week of the quarter, that will be your last chance to drop a course without permission. If it's after that time, you will have to get permission, and it will be on a case-by-case basis, and the only way it will be approved if it's sort of an emergency outside your control. And at that point, we would need documentation supporting that you need to drop the course. So I will see incoming transfer students where we will give you your fall schedule. Typically, there'll be like 3 engineering courses for your first quarter here, perhaps 3 engineering courses and a general ed course. But I will see students sometimes want to add an additional course or perhaps 2 additional courses. Nobody's going to stop you from dropping or adding the courses, but if you are in over your head and it's after the drop deadline, you will not be able to drop the courses. So saying that you're overwhelmed, that's not a valid reason to drop the course after the drop deadline. So at that point, you will have to stay in all your classes and just sort of deal with the consequences of the grades you receive. So just make sure you don't take on more than you can handle. And we're not going to give you on your schedule more classes than we think are doable. Grades. At UCI, you need to take all the classes for your major must be completed for a letter grade. So at this point, the only courses that you can take using the pass, no pass option would be general ed courses. And a pass grade would be any grade that's a C or higher would be considered pass. So just make sure that you are taking everything for your major for a letter grade and only general ed pass, no pass. Repeating courses. You are allowed to repeat 16 units. Most classes are 4 units, so that's about 4 classes. You can repeat 4 classes in which you receive a grade of C- or lower. So if you choose to repeat a course, it's not the higher course that will stand, it's the most current time that you took the class. So let's say you took statics, MAE 30, and you received a D grade. And so you retook the course again, and the second time you took it, you got an F grade. It's not the D grade at this point that you have credit for, it's the most current time class that's on your transcript. So at this point, you have an F grade, and you would have to repeat it a 3rd time to get a passing grade. So just make sure when you repeat it, if you decide to repeat a course, that you treat it seriously and your aim is to get a higher grade, not a lower grade. I know Caesar emailed everybody a form. We call it the SAP form. And I'm going to go over a little bit more right now. It can be a little bit overwhelming, so I'm just going to go over it in a brief kind of overview. And then if you have any questions when you come in the fall, you can ask more detailed questions. But right now, what I'm going to go over is academic standards and normal progress to completion and what happens if you're not meeting those benchmarks to graduate. So as Majan mentioned earlier, in order to certify your degree, you need to have a 2.0 GPA in 3 areas. Your overall not a 3.0, 2.0, don't want to scare anyone. Your overall GPA needs to be a 2.0. All your engineering coursework needs to be a 2.0, and then all your upper division engineering coursework needs to be a 2.0. So at the end of each quarter, we're going to review your transcripts. And as long as you are making progress toward graduating and you have a 2.0 GPA, you're going to move forward. But if your GPA falls below a 2.0, where you may be either on academic probation. Academic probation means that you have 1 quarter where your GPA falls below a 2.0, but it's still higher than a 1.5. So it's in that gray area. In that case, if that is the case, you'll be on probation, but you won't sign an official contract. It's like a warning. You need to bring your GPA back up to a 2.0. If you have 2 quarters where your GPA is below a 2.0, then that would put you on an academic contract. Also, if you have 1 quarter where your GPA is below a 1.5, that automatically puts you on an academic contract. An academic contract would be an official contract that you come into our office and sign, stating that for the next 3 quarters, you're going to get at least a C in all your courses and maintain a 2.0 GPA. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, and you can review this sort of on your own. I don't want to worry you. I just sort of want to give you an overview that if you're not making progress towards your degree, these are the steps that our office is going to take. as I mentioned earlier, Caesar mailed you or emailed you what we call our SAP 1.5 rule. And that form that you're going to sign, what that means is your very first quarter here as a transfer student, you need to get at least a 1.5 GPA, which is pretty low, but you need to have at least a 1.5 GPA. If you do not have that GPA, you will have to, if you want to stay at UCI, make plans to transfer into another major outside of engineering. So all that being said, we are here to help you, and we want to make sure you are a successful student at UCI. So I just want to review a few things that you're already aware of. You need to treat school as a full-time job. I encourage you, highly encourage you to not be nervous to talk to the professors during their office hours. Please go to the professor's office hours. They are there to help you, and do not get behind. Be realistic about the amount of work you can get done in any given period. And we encourage you to study 3 hours per week for any one unit that you're enrolled in. As a reminder, the engineering courses are built on the foundation of math and science, and we encourage you to study to learn, not just to pass the course. Be on top of your degree. Majan had showed you a slide earlier that with DegreeWorks. DegreeWorks is our online tracking system where you can keep track of everything that's required for you to graduate. And when you come in the fall, we will update your DegreeWorks. If you look at it right now, it shows that you're missing everything. That's not the case. It just has not been updated yet with your transfer work. But when you come in the fall for your first appointment, we will update your DegreeWorks. And then from that point forward, we encourage you to keep track of everything that you need to graduate and to follow your plan of study that we provide for you. If you have any admissions conditions on your account, you need to go back and talk to the admissions office to clear that up. Academic honesty. Be academically honest. Please review the complete policy in the catalog, and if you are unclear about a professor's syllabus or what's academically honest, if you're working on in a lab perhaps, please clarify with the professor teaching the course. Failure to follow this policy can range from failing a class to being dismissed from the university. I'm going to turn it back over to Caesar now, and after he finishes, we'll go through and answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, so some academic resources. We definitely encourage you to take advantage of all the faculty and TA office hours as they are readily available and posted on the syllabus that the professors give to you on a quarterly basis. We also have the Office of Access and Inclusion that offers a lot of the academic career skills workshops and development workshops that the Career Center offers, but this one's going to be a little bit more dedicated and tailored to students who are specifically in the School of Engineering. So definitely take advantage of their office. They also have a study room, so you can also go in there if you can't find a place to study. They do, on some quarters, offer free tutoring for a lot of the engineering courses, so you just want to make sure that you take advantage of their information on their website to see who is teaching or tutoring what specific course for a particular major. Faculty advising is separate from regular academic advising, as faculty advising is a session that's once per year as opposed to academic advising, which you can come in and speak to one of us pretty much every quarter. Faculty advising is held by those who actually create the curriculum. So that would be a lot of the professors. Those are considered faculty. So in this case, a faculty member would be talking to you about essentially what's going to be happening during your specific year. So one of the most important faculty advising sessions you will be at will be during your senior year, as a lot of the senior design project information will be provided to you there. So that one's very crucial for you to attend. In terms of us, the academic advising office, like we said earlier a few times, we are recommending that you start making your first appointment with us starting October 1st of this year. So you want to make sure that you jot that information down. So October 1st, make sure that you come into our office or give us a call so you can start making your appointment with us. So you want to make it either for the fall or for the winter. The sooner you get into the office, the faster we'll be able to give you your entire program of study for your entirety of your time here. So if you haven't submitted your IGETC form or partial IGETC certificate, you want to make sure that you bring it to us in person if you weren't able to submit it via mail to the Office of Admissions. And during your advising session, we will also be updating your degree words. So make sure that you do not miss out on this because you don't want to be one of those students that doesn't know what to take for the remainder of their time here. And this is the contact information for the rest of the office. Some helpful websites. So the one that's specific to you will be the undergraduate website that you see, the first one there. The office calendar, any undergraduate forums, academic resources, contact information is listed on that website. So you definitely will be using this a lot once you start figuring out how to look for forums or figuring out how to come to the office and all that. So make sure that you start familiarizing yourself with that website so you have access to that already. Plaza will be probably the one that you actually end up using the most just because the course outlines are available through that website. So you'll be able to also see the class restrictions. If there's a course that's outside of your major within the School of Engineering that you want to take, through Plaza you can see when restrictions are lifted for a particular course. Or if you want to see if there's when a specific course within your major is going to be offered, then the teaching plan is also listed on the website. So this one's going to be very, very useful for all you students. And then the general engineering website is a good place for you to look up research topics by department. And also you will be able to look up specific professors via the professor directory that's listed on that website. If you do not have a laptop, you want to make sure that you take advantage of the information that is on our laptops website. So you can go to the Start Here portion of that website. It'll give you specific details on how and what kind of computer you can purchase, and also there's a lot of free software on there that you can download that's specific to your courses. So you definitely want to make sure that you go to the laptop's website before you actually go on and purchase a specific laptop. If you have any additional questions regarding laptops, you want to make sure that you reach out to our lab manager, Lisa Preble, and her contact information is also listed in that specific website. And in terms of our office, the Undergraduate Student Affairs office, we are located on the 3rd floor of Rockwell Engineering Center. We are always open from 8:30 to 12 and then 1 to 4:30. So again, starting October 1st of this year, you can call or visit our office to schedule an appointment. And again, we will be seeing you starting October 1st onward. And that concludes our presentation. So